Hello, this is Jay Smith. I'm speaking from my office here in London. It is now June the 19th, Monday, June the 19th. Yesterday, June the 18th, Sunday, we saw something happen that I had never thought would happen. We were at Speaker's Corner up on the ladder. I was doing a debate. Yeah, you can go up and see the debate. It's up on Fander Film with a Muslim, a tall Muslim named Muhammad. And we were doing a debate on historical criticism of both how Islam began and how Christianity began. And I was in my last summation, the last 5 minutes. Muhammad had already done his summation. He was all finished. And suddenly a female police officer came up behind me and asked us to get off the ladder, to get down, and to stay down and not to get on anymore.
These are 500.
I'm going to have to ask you to come off the platform.
Yeah,
everybody has to come off the platform.
Okay.
Thank you.
What time do I have so I can finish this?
Continue speaking, but you have to come off the platform. All right?
No, okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, you can finish what you're saying.
Okay, we'll do from here.
So I finished my summation on the ground, and then I went over to the police car to find out what had been going on, and they told us that we would no longer be able to work on ladders anymore, that this was it. No more ladder work at Speaker's Corner. No more getting up on ladders. Anybody, not just us, everybody. So that would be my last time on a ladder.
Christian, no more ladders are permitted at Speaker's Corner?
No steps, no platforms, no chairs, not allowed to stand on anything other than your 2 feet.
I've been doing this for 25 years here.
I'm not disputing it. Like I've said to some of the other people, it's a decision that was made by Inspector Harris at the Royal Parks.
When was that?
At Hyde Park. She came into our briefing on Thursday, I believe it was, and she said she wanted us to come down here today and inform you guys. You should not be on platforms or chairs or step ladders.
I have been going down to Speaker's Corner since 1992, so for 25 years I've been at Speaker's Corner. I've been up on a ladder since 1995, so for 22 years I have been up on a ladder. I was asked to get up on a ladder by the police in 1995 for my own protection. They wanted to be able to see me at all times, so that because I had been beat up the week before in 1995, and so that's why I was up. I had not been on ladders ever since. Until yesterday. Now, the order that they're saying that they're using is called the Royal Parks and Other Open Spaces Regulation 1997. So it is a law that was enacted back in 1997, but they're now only enforcing in 2017, 20 years later. They've had this law for 20 years, and let's see exactly what the law says. This is number 15 of that order, and it says, fail to move any chair, stand, or platform in the public speaking area in Hyde Park in accordance with a direction given by a constable. Now, I can understand that law. In fact, I have seen that law used in the intervening 20 years. Usually it's used in almost every case. It's used whenever a speaker puts their ladders next to another speaker too close to them and then, of course, encroaches upon their space. That's happened to us many times. Muslims have come and put their ladder right next to ours to try to take us on and try to drown us out. And we've never gone to the police about it. In fact, I don't recall once where we've ever asked the police to use that law against a Muslim, mainly because I have a loud voice and I can usually overtalk them, and it gets us, engages into a debate. So we've never used it, but I know other people have, and I know other people have gone to the police to ask that law to be reused so that it can force the Muslims or whoever is causing the problem away from their space. I've never yet seen this law used as it was yesterday, and it looks like it's going to be used from here on out, which means no more ladders at Speaker's Corner. Now, folks, listen, Speaker's Corner has been around for 150 years, and for 150 years, people have been getting up on ladders. Here are some photos. I'm just going to show you some photos, archaic photos that I just got offline just this morning, to show you that ladders have always been used at Speaker's Corner. Ladders are used for a very good reason, because it's with ladders that you can actually get your head above the crowd. It's with ladders that you need to be able to be heard. So in a sense, ladders are endemic with Speaker's Corner. It is Speaker's Corner, it's not Discussion Corner. The reason it's called Speaker's Corner is because speakers like to get up on ladders and speak to huge crowds. How can you speak to a crowd this large, this big, unless you're on a ladder? Can you see the problem? Big crowds like this can only be accommodated at Speaker's Corner, and it's the only place on earth that we're permitted to do it. This is the only venue I'm aware of where traditionally we have always been able to get up on ladders. Ladders are there for that we bring ladders there for that reason. You can see that by these old archaic pictures from Speaker's Corner that the speakers always got up on ladders. They used the ladders to project their voice. They used their ladders to be seen. They used the ladders so that the message can get out, and it can get out for the largest number of people possible. If you take away the ladders, there's no more Speaker's Corner. Why call it Speaker's Corner? Don't use that name anymore, because there's no place for people to speak anymore. You can just then call it, well, Discussion Corner. A discussion corner happens on any corner. You can have discussions in any place, at book tables. You can have them in restaurants. You can have them on any street, at any time, anywhere. But Speaker's Corner is designated for speakers to get up on ladders. And like this one here, this is a friend of mine, Cy. He's up on a very long, tall ladder, much bigger than I'm willing to get up on, because the higher you get up, the farther you have to fall when they knock you off. And believe me, we do get knocked off ladders. In the 1990s, I got knocked off ladders quite often. Even the Muslims used to use ladders. Here's a picture of a Muslim on the ladder. They like ladders. Interestingly, since in the last 2 years, they have hardly ever been getting up on ladders. Rarely. This fellow still does, this one here. But rarely do they get up on ladders anymore. Could it be that it's the Muslims that are asking this law to be enacted? Because they've had such a problem on ladders. We've known this for the last few years. Because of our material, they are then open to abuse as far as looking at the Quran, looking at Muhammad, and looking at Allah himself. But you can see, ladders are a great place. You don't just have to use ladder. This man is using a box. You can use a box, you can use a crate, you can use bricks. Since 1995, I've been up on ladders, and I've been doing ladders, and one of the great things about ladders is you can do debates on them. Here you can see a debate with me and Ali Dawa, who was there yesterday. In fact, he was there most every Sunday. He no longer gets up on ladders. I think because he knows he cannot hold his own. If you're on a ladder, you expose yourself to the crowd, much more so than if you're on the ground. If you're up on a ladder, you expose yourself to hecklers, much more so than if you're on the ground. The one area that Muslims will get up on a ladder with us is to do debates. Why? Because we control the debates. We don't allow any heckling. We don't allow any feedback. It is 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes for each of the speakers. Here's a debate that I had with Yusuf, who is all over the internet, very well-known speaker, but at Speaker's Corner, he needs a ladder to do a debate. Here's one that I have with Adnan Rashid. Adnan Rashid is a good friend. We've been done quite a few debates on ladders. He was there yesterday. He was not on a ladder. He does not like to get on ladders anymore. I think I know why. Probably because his material is so weak, he cannot really hold forth from a ladder where he's exposed to the crowd. Now, what can you do about it? And what do we need to do about it? If we really want to if we really want to see Speaker's Corner becoming nothing more than a discussion place, it'll lose its notoriety. It'll lose its uniqueness. It will no longer be Speaker's Corner. We won't even be able to call it that. We will then have to give it a different name. If they really want that for Speaker's Corner, then they're going to basically they're going to ruin the whole tenure of what it is. Why it is such a unique place on earth. It's the only place on earth where we can get up on a ladder and actually say anything we want. Now, to be fair, they're not shutting down free speech. That's not what I'm saying here. What they are shutting down is the speaking capacity. The fact that anybody can get up and speak. That's the problem. And doing that, they're basically making Speaker's Corner like every other place. There'll be no reason to have a Speaker's Corner anymore. These discussions can happen at Leicester Square. We can do them at Covent Garden. We can do them at Tower Hill. We can do them on any high street. We can do them in any restaurant. These kind of discussions can continue to happen at book tables. Speaker's Corner is the only place where we can get up on a ladder. We're not permitted to get up on ladders anywhere else but Speaker's Corner. If that is taken away from us, then one of the great traditions is going to be taken away from us as well. We need to stop this. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to go and to write Inspector Harris. She is the one that has now enacted this law. She just decided to do it this week. I understand from the other police that were there that she's new on the job. And this is her way of trying to enforce a law that's been around for 20 years, going way beyond what the law intended. The law was intended to stop people from harassing other people on the ladders. That's why, and that's a good law. What she has interpreted as is a bad law. because this is going to take away the whole reason for a place called Speaker's Corner. You need to write to her at the old police house. We'll put this address up after this video. Hyde Park. So the old police, let me do it again. Inspector Harris, the old police house, Hyde Park, London, W2 2UH. Let me repeat that again. The old police house, Hyde Park, London, W2 2UH. Now, people might say, well, Jay, you're just doing this because you love the ladder and this is going to hurt your ministry. Listen, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the States in just a few weeks. This is not for me. I have a loud enough voice. I can pretty much be heard anywhere, whether I'm on the ground or on the ladder. It's the people who don't have a strong voice like me, people who don't have 25 years experience like I have. It's for them that we need to retain this freedom that we have at Speaker's Corner. And it's for everyone like you who want to hear these good debates, who want to hear this good material that's not spoken anywhere else but at Speaker's Corner, and by people who are willing to put themselves up in public, under public scrutiny, who are willing to be heckled, who are willing to be harassed, yes, even harassed, who are willing to be vilified like we get every week. For those people I'm speaking up for, and I want you to speak up as well. Write in and ask Inspector Harris why she is doing this, and that she needs to desist so that we retain Speaker's Corner as it was intended. This is Jay here in London. Over and out.